also the people watching the back. Our team, let me just introduce our team. Our team is called Team Sensory Cube, and we'll explain later, but let me introduce myself. I'm Carl. I'm a product designer. I'm also a father. So.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Janica. I'm a UX designer and I'm a sister to a person with sensory need. My brother has Down syndrome.
And I'm Alexis Miradero. I'm a student from Studio Works.
And we have another, also our team member, Mary Jean, which sadly cannot be here for work reasons.
Alexis.
So quick facts about autism. 1 out of 150 children is affected with autism. Autism is referred to as a spectrum disorder, and 90% of the people with an autism spectrum disorder have sensory processing difficulties. So the focus, our community in focus is the Reach Center Cebu. The Reach Center aims to serve the community through effective recognition and management of children with autism. They address a broad range of children's problems, including their children's medical, psychological, social, and educational and vocational needs.
So how we can help? So when we were at Reach Center, we did observations and interviews with teacher Sok and also with architect Chim Chim. And this is the observations that we saw. In terms of sensory, the main challenge that I think the teachers were saying there was that children have tantrums, especially if it's in their adjustment period, usually the first week. So there's always going to be tantrums because it's a change in their what you call that, Jen? In their routines. And dealing with sensory overload and emotional breakdown of student is challenging for teachers. And children are unpredictable due to they have different milestones and routines. As we said, autism is a spectrum, so it's not just one size fits all. And the ratio of teachers to children is usually 1:5. And for the environment, we looked at physical space can be limiting, and as what architect Jim said, like if you have children there, you need to give enough environment for them to play and move around. The chill room, this is the room where, this is what I understood from a chill room. A chill room is where a child is going to be placed in that room so that that child can settle down and just focus. Chill room is far from the younger students' classroom. It's in the kids area, and for the material, toys are shared and might easily get broken. If you see, we didn't add here, but there are some toys that were easily broken, and sometimes they need to update the toys. The current ones have missing parts, and the time to fix the broken toys, it usually takes time because they need to wait for the carpenter, and they need to also wait for the materials that's needed for fixing the toys. So from those observations, we created a problem statement saying that how might we help Reach students be able to self-regulate, especially kids that have tantrums, self-regulate their emotions when they get overwhelmed in class. So I'm just gonna read the top.
It's flat because if you bali it, it becomes like a writing table of sorts for the children.
So if the child wants to write,
It's okay. Next is our convertible chair. So this is very Montessori inspired. So these parts here have different heights. So it can be used across different ages. The first is a toddler seat, this one. And then, kung yung balihon, it becomes a low back chair that can be used for like 5 above, right? For like about 50. The other one, if you siyang balihon, it becomes a low stool or a table that can be used for their activities of daily living. And you might be wondering, what's around brown din ha? There's a textured pad, no? So because autism is a sensory disorder, sometimes when you need the children to calm down, they need to have that to fulfill that sensory need. So when you have something here, either it's something rough or a cushion, it will help them focus. So that's it. And then the other one If you notice, we're not using nails. It's an invisible joint system. Sorry, we were trying to copy IKEA because when you take it together, it will fold flat. And it's also easier to put it together. So no nails, all screws, and we have this invisible screw. So it is also snag free, kay flat man siya. So even if kuan na siya din dili pud makuha ng bata. And the next, we have different components as well. No? That was very fablabable. Because the kind of components, we were thinking of, during these, I remember katong inyong knob puzzles. So we were thinking, how about to make something that would fulfill the need for pincher and palmar grasp for students. So we have these tetrahedron jackstones. So you can have this for pincher or for grasp. Palmar. And then helps, pwede po siya pang sorting, fidgeting, and gamay lang no, but it should be all but around this big para dili siya choking hazard. You can play with it like that, like a fidget pro. And next, the scooping station right here. So the scooping station is pretty much by its name, you can put anything inside. So right now we are putting pottery for kaning factory scent that one. May humot siya. It's calming for the child. It's kanang made of pangalan ng lavender.
Lavender.
Right? And then matangtang po siya ang kaning mukhang basin. Right? And the other one, of course, is the busy board. So ideally, we would have different modules of busy board. One for all gears. So we also had this kaning pangalan ng 3D printed. So the good thing about these gears are really geared for palmar rotation. And then the other one also is all about texture. So you have this one, I got the part.
I would just want to add that because we wanted it to be used by different children of different spectrum and different needs. So this one can actually be removed, and if you can just create each one to be specific to a child, so you can just change this instead of
Yes.
changing the whole table. So this is the only one that you need to
Exactly. Thank you for that,
recreate.
Carl. This is what we call the prepared environment.
Prepared
you see,
environment.
the child would need to be, ganahan siya magkumot-kumot of anything. So you can just give him this module, which is the sandbox. So it's very soothing as well. And then the other one is the light box. So what we did here, if you have a light, and then you can play with tantrums inside. And these are magnetic as well. Okay. And another concept that we have, we also want to emphasize. I think we want to reinforce the way REACH is doing your program, that you also involve the parents, right? So we also have a parents teachers kit, and maybe we can also have reward stickers also for the kids. And for example, if they were able to self-regulate using these toys, and we give them a sticker or reward. And then we also tell the parents also, like we have a tracker that Jerome was able to, like that. All right, so user testing. So we have two kinds of user tests. First, we focus on a group of people who need sensory stimulations, which are toddlers and adults with special needs. So there. This is my brother, and he really had fun with the gears because he was able to turn it. And the other set of user group was